Hey, everybody. It's Kate Richbourg, and it is that time. You're only seeing the broadcast is starting soon screen while I get everything connected up. So don't you worry your pretty little heads. I'm going to have the screen up and running here in just a second. You guys, we are actually halfway through the Great Bead Extravaganza. Isn't that crazy? Halfway through. I love it. So let me bear with me here because I'm doing this since I am on a socially distanced, responsible getaway with my mom. I don't have all of my usual equipment, so you're going to have to just stay with me here for a moment while I get it all together. But I think we are ready to go. Let's see. I've got myself here. Let me grab my coffee. Sorry, I just had breakfast right before I came on. That may not have been a great idea, but I think my voice will hold. All right, here we go in 3, 2, and here I am. All right. Oh, but you can see the bed pillows over there. Let me move this over there. There we are. Let me move this around too. All right, everybody. Here we are in my socially. No, I think we're good. Nope. Nope. I don't want to move anything. Okay. So we're all good. Here we are. I'm going to move that over into comments. Here's my dear mama. She's a little lower. You can't. There she is. There she is right there. All righty. So haven't we had the best time so far? I'm telling you. I'm having a little bit of coffee here. My mom and I both had COVID tests. Those of you who watch me, I'll tell you a little bit about me. I'm Kate Richbourg from beadshop.com. And I know many of you watch me on Wednesdays and Fridays on the beadshop.com Facebook page, on our YouTube channel. Our wonderful proprietress and founder, Janice Parsons, she's over on YouTube doing some linking and stuff over there. And then our wonderful superfan Gita is over here on the feed, also doing some moderating over there as well. So it's great to have all of you guys here. So those of you who watch me regularly know that my mom and I haven't seen each other for a whole year. So we did the responsible thing. We both got negative COVID tests, and we're good to go. So there we go. And here we are.
Hello. Hello.
Right.
Yeah, Kate drove down, what was it, 3.5 hours?
Yeah.
We're in Pismo
We're
Beach.
in Pismo Beach,
We're in
California.
Pismo Beach.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful.
And it's about 2.5 hours from Fresno
Yeah.
for me. So it was great.
Yeah,
We're
here we are,
on the
whooping
beach.
it up. The beach is right behind us. It's right there.
The surfers are
Kind of
out.
hard to see.
And actually, today's a beautiful day.
Yeah, it's
nice
a beautiful
and
day.
sunny.
Yeah.
Yesterday was kind of cloudy, but yeah.
But today is gorgeous. And today is also a beautiful day to make tassels. So I'm going to get this show on the road. First, I want to show you guys, I'm going to share with you guys a few things. So bear with me here for a moment. As you know, we are on social, beadshop.com. And I'll give you a little bit of background so you can learn a little bit about us. I know we have a lot of great bead shop fans out here watching us, but we've got some new people here as well. So it's great to have all y'all here. So Bead Shop was started in 1982 as a brick and mortar store by our founder, Janice Parsons. And I was at Bead Shop from 1992 until 2002. And then I went off into the bead world from our brick and mortar. I was the class director there, and we did all kinds of classes, all kinds of fun stuff. And Janice really is responsible for setting me on the road to my bead journey, which has been kind of my life's work, which has been amazing. So I came back to Bead Shop, landed back in 2016, and we have been going strong ever since. So you can follow us, you guys, at beadshop.com on Insta, at the Bead Table, which is our private Facebook group. We'd love to have you there. And of course, you can watch me every Wednesday and Friday right on the Bead Shop page, right on our YouTube channel. You can subscribe right over there. Now, today, it is that time. It is time for the Great Bead Extravaganza, as you know. And today I'm going to be making this boho tassel, which I think is, you guys are gonna super dig. Tassels are awesome, and everybody's been so great with their presentations. If you guys just watched Nile, he did some tassels with his silver silk. It was really great. So all of these techniques, you guys, that you're learning here throughout the event can really build on each other, right? You can take a little bit of technique from, you know, this presenter and that presenter and really create them and make them your own, which is awesome. And I wanted to give a big shout out to Sarah over from Softflex and Andrew over at Allegory Gallery and all of my fellow presenters. You guys have been super rad and awesome, and it's just been a great fun to be together with you. I'm not kidding. I feel like we're at a bead show, which is such a great thing. So today, and I'll flash all of this stuff again at the end of the presentation, but if you haven't shopped with us before on beadshop.com, get familiar, kids. We have a beautifully curated collection of the best in the bead world. And so when you hop over to shop at beadshop.com, you can use coupon code GBE, that stands for Great Bead Extravaganza. What a surprise. GBE20, and you'll save 20% store-wide. And we've extended that coupon, or that coupon code. It expires Sunday, November 15th at midnight Pacific time. I also have, you guys, we have a free gift for you guys today, and it's going to be old school thread snips, and I want you guys to stay tuned for those details because I'm going to share that with you at the end of the broadcast. Okay, so let me find where got all these screens here, and then finally let me also say here, you can go to beadshop.com for all the information on the project and products from this broadcast. You also want to sign up for our newsletter for all the latest discounts, giveaways, and new products. And you can find this particular project right on our website. It is, I'll tell you, bear with me here just a second. It's under boho tassel, and you can find it right there at our website, beadshop.com, collections boho tassel, and it's there. There's also a slider for the Great Bead Extravaganza right on the homepage, so you can click right on that, and it'll take you right to the ingredients list, okay, of everything that I am using today. Okay, so let me, let's get this show on the road, right? What do you think, Ma?
I think so.
All right, let's do it. Let me, I'm going to put up a little something pretty for you guys to look at while I move this camera around. So bear with me here just a second.
Okay, so what do we want to do?
Oh no, you're fine. You're
I'm
just fine right there. You're
Okay,
fine.
Great.
You're fine, Gwenda.
Okay.
Don't you worry. I
Okay.
just have to figure out how to
Okay, well, while you're doing that,
how to there we go. I need to figure out this camera. I'm gonna turn it around. And so Ma, in anticipation of this
well,
broadcast.
yeah, I just want to say this 2 years ago, I believe it was,
Uh-huh.
at the same weekend we were in San Juan Bautista and at a quilt retreat, but you were doing your Friday free tip broadcast.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you do it on? You did it on Tassel.
I did. We always seem to do tassels when we're together, right?
Right.
So I started teaching tassels actually kind of early on in my beading career. My mom used to head up a quilt guild in San Juan Bautista, California. And for her first, I think it was your first meeting, Mom, wasn't it your first meeting?
Well, pretty close.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I taught, I don't know how many, 40 people or something.
40 ladies.
Yeah.
We
How
brought,
to.
embroidery floss for everybody. We gave everybody
Yep.
a little skein of embroidery floss.
And I taught everybody how to make a tassel. So tassel making to the masses, you guys, is not an uncommon thing, right? So here we are. So, and let me get that banner off of there too. Bear with me here just a second. There we go. And let me get my name off of there because you know who I am. So bear with me here again, just a moment, and I'll take that off. And then as soon as I get started, I'm going to have my mom tell you what she's been doing in order to get prepared for this this event.
Yeah, and you know, one of the things that I like best, and I don't know if you have any material to do this, of course, is I like that twisted cord and then you twist it back.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Maybe if I have time, I'll
Yeah.
do that. That's really
I love
that one is fun.
Yeah.
I'll see if I have time to do it.
Yeah.
Right. And so there's a couple of questions here that I'll tell you guys a couple of bit of housekeeping things as we're looking at this pretty bunch of stuff we've got here. This broadcast is streaming in 3 different locations, kids, right? It's streaming right here on the Great Bead Extravaganza page on the Facebook page. It's also streaming to our Facebook page on beadshop.com. And then finally, it's also streaming on our YouTube channel. So we're looking at all of the questions in the comments. So just hang in there and you'll see them. I've also pinned at the top of the Bead Extravaganza page, at the very top, you'll see this video pinned there. Okay, so I'm going to jump in and get started, and I'll review some of the questions and stuff here that you guys might have, but I've got everybody here to help out. So it's great to have all y'all here. Someone's saying they love my little bead dishes. These are, Melissa's saying that. Melissa, these are my our triangle trays that we carry here on Bead Shop, and they come in packs of 12. They are indispensable for me. I just love them. And I love the way I only grabbed 2. I guess I could have grabbed 6, but they fit together in kind of this little circle, and it's gorgeous, right? I love it. So a big thanks and a big shout out to both Gita and to Janice for being here. So it's great to have all of you guys here. So let's do this thing. So the projects, let me get them over here. I'm going to move this from this table. Thankfully, the place we're staying in has all of these nice amenities, so I can move around a bit. But these are 3 of the tassels that I'm working with here, and you can see that this is the one that I did specifically, and it's the one I'm going to recreate today. Okay, right here. This is one I did a while back, and I used this really cool kind of Z agate bead. Unfortunately, we don't carry these guys any longer, but I encourage you to go stash diving as well, because this is a great one to play around with your stash. And I'm going to show you how these tassels, these nylon tassels go together, right? And then I'm going to show you how to work with ultrasuede. This is ultrasuede in Montauk. The color is Montauk here. And I'm also going to be using, and they're listed on the Bead Shop page, the project page, some different colors as well. I'm going to use the moccasin color today too. And I'm going to show you some of my really great tips to work with this. And thankfully, my mom thought to bring her cutting mat for quilting. I'm going to teach you something she's taught me. So it's going to flow down to you guys from my mom today, which is awesome. So these are the styles that we're going to look at. We're also going to learn not only to make these different tassels right here, we're going to learn kind of what I want to say, kind of a signature bead shop stitch, one that was brought to us and perfected by our dear Brittany Ketchum, who does a lot of really wonderful demos and stuff for us. So that flat knot, we're also going to look at it with some beaded, the flat macrame knot. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. And you're going to learn some wire wrapping and how to attach it to this jumbo clasp. Now this jumbo clasp, you guys, I am in love with this clasp. It's nice and big. It's fan-frickin-tastic as just a pendant, and you can put it right on a lanyard or on something like that. You could also put it right on your handbag and have, like, you know, a tassel embellishment when you move from the living room to the dining room and carry your handbag because we never go out anymore. But I think it looks pretty rad. And then I'm using these discs. We're going to use a couple of different ways to connect it. I'm going to bunch up with what we call our wood carving bead. This is from our Vintage Finds collection. It's a serpentine. Fun fact, serpentine is California's state stone. I don't know if you knew that or not, but it is. And also these beautiful serpentine donuts that we've got here. So you could make this tassel just like this, right? You could make it, add, of course, this donut. This is a 30 millimeter. We also carry them in 40 millimeter. Or you can also, I'm going to show you how to attach it here with some wire as well. Okay, so we're going to learn a lot of stuff here to start. So let me first jump in with this ultra suede. Okay, and let me get my little area moved over here just real quick, like, so you can see. I'm going to show you how to mark and cut this ultra suede. Ultra suede is really cool, and a lot of you, I think, have probably used ultra suede before if you have done some seed bead work, right, with cabochons, like right back in the day. Even you, Man, you made some seed bead cabochon stuff, right?
Yeah, when we do bead embroidery, we use it for the back.
For the backing.
For the back.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got actually bead embroidery coming up, right? Emily's going to be with us next week on our regular broadcast, okay, on our bead shop broadcast on Wednesday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific. So she's going to, at long last, we're going to have a really great bead embroidery demo for you guys. But this is the ultra suede, and the way that we carry the ultra suede, it comes in a tube, and it comes in an 8.5 by 4.25 inch length. Okay, so we're going to I'm going to show you how this cuts. And ultra suede, it's not really leather, it's faux leather, right? And you can see it's not very thick, but I think it's just gorgeous. I don't know. When I see ultra suede, I think of Candy Cooper. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's groovy like candy. Maybe. I don't know. But it's I love it. So I want to show you guys how we do this. And I actually need to get this over here. So this is a setup. You guys may or may not recognize this setup. If any of you are quilters, and my mom is a very prolific, award-winning quilter, right? And so she taught me how to use this setup, and we quilt together, not as frequently as we might like, right? But we do, usually every year on this weekend. But since we couldn't, we're having our socially distanced good times right here. So this is a cutting mat, right? It's by Olfa. You can find these at just your regular craft store, right? Or fabric store or whatever. And there's also this grid ruler. They come in a lot of different sizes and shapes and stuff. And it helps you measure your fabric as you're cutting for your for quilting. So you would also use a rotary cutter. This is a small one, but they come in a variety of
40 millimeters.
Yeah, 40 millimeters. Yeah, this is 28 millimeters here. And so I'm just going to cut this end off just so you can see how I cut this. But if you're slicing all the way through this, you would just go ahead, measure. You can see right here the measurements on my, let me center this up a little bit. Bear with me here just a second. I feel like we were a little tilted. There we go. You can see here that it's marked off really easily to see in 1/4 inch lines. So I line everything up. I line my ultra suede up on my cutting mat, and I can just come in and press, being very careful to keep your fingers out of the way, you guys, right? Because you don't want to rotary cut over your fingers. That would be bad news bears. So can you see here how that's cut perfectly in a 1/4 inch segment? and it's nice and even. All right. So I'm going to use, before I cut, I'm going to mark this off into grids. So on my tassel that I have right here, I have 17 tassel legs. Okay. And these all measure 1/4 inch wide. And then up here at the top, I have a head of about 1/2 inch. So I'm going to start by coming in on this side, and I've got another ruler here, and that's going to help me. Let me make sure that I'm in the shot here. That's going to help me measure the top of my tassel, and I'm just going to cut them at length. You can see I haven't cut down the length here, the width of this ultra suede, so it's that 4 1/4 right here. Okay, and then here I'm just going to come in with my pencil, and you want to use a pencil. You know what? I'm going to make this maybe 3/4 of an inch. Ma, I feel like you're gonna.
What?
You want to add something in here?
Well,
You have that breath of.
to
I'm
begin
going to tell
with,
you
if
something.
You're going to cut 17 legs
Mhm.
at 1/4 inch.
Mhm.
That would be 4 1/4 inches that way. This way.
Oh,
This way.
so
Or are you going to cut? Or how are you going to cut this?
I'm going to cut it. Just
You're
what?
going to cut it that
Yeah,
way.
that way.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that would be your 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm
I
going to
see.
use, you with me?
Yeah.
I'm going to use that pencil there. And I really want to make sure. There we go. And you can see that it's nice on there. Okay. So here, I'm going to come in and I'm going to place this down. And I'm going to cut. I'm going to not cut, but I'm going to mark that. So see there, and I'm going to go down. So watch. So see, I've made that first one. Let me go down a little closer here so you can see it. I've made this first one. Now I'm going to, right here where my 1/4 inch line is, it's this yellow one right here. So see how that's running up? That's laying on the line I drew previously, that I previously drew. Okay, whoops. You know what? I think I wouldn't do this normally, and I'll do it on the back. My pencil is pretty light, but I have a pen actually here, so I'm just going to go really light on my pen. It'll be much easier for you guys to see. In real life, I wouldn't use this pen. I would use a pencil or a chalk pencil, but I really want you guys to see what I'm doing. Okay, so we're just going to throw caution to the wind. Okay, and so as you can see, I'm lining this up and marking it along as I go. And if you line up the lines, let the ruler do the job. If you line the mark on the ruler up with the mark that you previously made, you should be consistent with your lines. Okay. Now, before this kind of grid system was made, it was a little harder to cut, at least for me, a straight line. I don't know about you. How about you, Ma?
Well.
Uh-oh.
I would do
You
it.
know what that means.
I would do it differently, but you know, that's
9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're almost there.
Yeah.
Because then what you can do, 14. Now we're going to cut them. 15. Oh, that one might have moved. Be really careful how you push that ruler down, right? So you don't want things to move. Where was I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. One last one. And again,
okay. So
I'd use a pencil.
I would just cut this piece off, this whole piece.
Yeah, I will. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so there we've got our 17. Okay, so now I'm going to come in And I'm going to start here, and we're going to get rid of that extra. So now you're good to go, and you can use this for something else. Okay.
So could I give you a little instruction? I know you're going to hate this, but okay. So what I would do is, okay, I would cut backwards. Okay. So I know I'm complicating things too much for you. Okay. All right. I'll go.
Okay.
I'll let you do
So
this.
what
Yeah.
we're going to do is we're going to line this up, and you can do this with your rotary cutter, or you can do this with scissors. Now, let me show you. See how I've got this all lined up? I'm going to come in, and I'm just going to come, and I'm going to stop right there. And you don't want to go too high up, right? And so I have a little scissor that I'm also going to show you that you can
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
you can clip the top.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's hard
So
to
see
do.
how you just want to rotate it, move it over. And the thing is, you need to, like with your left hand, I'm right-handed here. Okay. So I push down with my right hand and go slow. Don't get all crazy. As Andrew would say, don't get all crazy making. Right? So you want to be really careful as you cut. Now, you don't have to have this set up, right? I know you guys are going to go to the fabric store and blow up their quilt section, with your needs for a rotary cutter and a mat and a ruler. You can also, though, just mark out your grid, and you can certainly just cut them with a nice sharp pair of scissors. Okay, so bear with me here while I do these. My left hand is pushing down on my ruler, and my right hand is rotating, is holding my cutter. And I'm just slowly, and see how my index finger is guiding that cutter straight on through. Okay. And everything that we're using, everything else, all of these materials, you guys, are over on the beadshop.com website. You go right to Bead Shop, look for the slider right on the homepage that has the great Bead Extravaganza logo, and that'll take you right to the tassel. It's called Boho Tassel is the project that I am making today. You can see here with the one with the pencil, I can't see it that well, so I'm just going to line it up with my ruler and go. Okay, so there we have it. All right, so you can see here, like at the very top, let me put the tassel here. Okay, you can see at the very top, I might have a little bit of an opening that needs to be opened up. So I get a pair of really sharp snips, and I have them sitting right here. Oh, they're sitting right here in front of me. And you can see how I'm going to come in, and I can just give a little tiny snip at the very top if I need to. Okay, but I think I did actually a pretty good job.
So there was
on all
a
of this.
question here. It says, can you use an X-Acto blade on the ultrasuede too?
Yeah. I don't see why you couldn't. What do you think, Linda?
I think so. I actually have one right here.
Right? Yeah, an X-Acto, the thing with the X-Acto is, you guys, if you're using an X-Acto blade, you want to make sure to use probably a new one. I don't know about you, but my X-Acto blade always, oh, don't cut that one.
Oh,
Here, we'll
okay.
cut, hang on.
Anyway,
The X-Acto blade for me, mine always seems really dull. Probably because I've been cutting paper and stuff with it.
and that one might be.
Yeah, but a fresh blade. But see how I'm just coming in here and snipping the top, so it's super precise.
And it's really easy to cut with scissors.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
You don't need a
Okay.
cutter.
Yeah, you don't need this whole. And if I turn this over, all of the marks that I've made and stuff are on the back. So it's like they never happened. Okay. And so, I guess someone's saying I do so abuse my X-Acto blade. It's so true, right? So here is the leather, right? And so let me set that down precariously, and let me show you how I'm going to do this by rolling this up together. I'm going to give myself a little piece of paper here, and with the I'm going to sit here for a moment because I was standing up because I was cutting with the blade. I always think it's easier to cut with the rotary cutter if you're standing. So see this top part of this tassel right here? So you have like a head here that you can embellish with beads. You can also, you can see here how it's rolled up. So I'm going to glue this. All right. And notice how this last one here, I'm going to give you that little trick right here. So I'm going to start by pushing that up to the top, and I'm going to get some glue. Now the glue that I have, we carry these E6000 tubes in tiny little tubes like this, right? Because I always find when I E6000 and I get a big tube, the E6000 just, I don't know, goes all over it. It's kind of a big old mess, right? So I like these small tubes. This is one of our large pony beads, and I'm going to show you guys this in a second. So bear with me here on this. Why can't I find, you know what I can't find is my donut.
Here's one right
Oh,
here.
perfect. Yes, that's
This
it.
must be
Nice one. There's one over here, and I think I have another one. Maybe will you look in that box too? Not in that tray, but in the plastic box that's there. Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
If it's not there, I'll just use this guy here too. You know how it is. You've got your materials all set out, and then all of a sudden, it's a no-go. Anyway, so let me show you this. I'm going to get my my tassel here, and I had some little Q-tips that are, if it's not in there, nope, all right, I'll use this one. It's no big deal. This is, just so you guys know, this is the pyrite. It's a pyrite disc here. This is the ocean jasper here. Okay, so we're just going to use this pyrite one. So I'm going to squeeze out a little bit of E6000. I don't think it's on there. That's been closed.
Okay.
And I'm going to, oh, it's a brand new E6000. So let's pierce this, right? Nope, I got it with the lid. Yep.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull this out, put the lid right back on it so it doesn't leach out. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of that E6000. Now remember, remember that I'm going to need less glue than you think, right? You don't want it to be a crazy thing. Oh, and we need to actually plug this in.
Okay. I can do that.
Okay, perfecto. I think you can plug it in right to the wall. Good thing I have an assistant here, everybody. Because,
Yeah,
great.
I got it.
You got it. You got it. So let me get this. And I'm going to put a little bit of that E6000, you guys, right here.
And you want me to turn it on too?
Yeah, can you plug it into that one? Just unplug, not the light, but the other plug that's down there. I have enough power.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Can you get it?
Yeah. I can get it.
And see how I've just spread a little bit of that E6000 and I've glued up that leg. Okay. And I can kind of use my fuzzy part there to kind of push it down. Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Mom.
Okay.
So now what I'm going to do, see, look at that Look what happens. See? But you have to think. I know it's rough a little bit. You have to
so we're making
anticipate.
this.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
So you need to anticipate whatever is going to go in there. You glue it on in. Okay. So let me get a little, again, good glue management, right? And use it to kind of squeegee on there a little bit, right? Then lay it down. And then I use the fuzzy part of that Q-tip to tamp it. All right, now I'm just going to get a little bit more. My E6000 has been kind of sitting out, right? Laying out there. So it's starting to kind of,
Harden up.
yeah, get a little tacky, right? So what you're going to do is you're just going to make sure you want to get it like kind of right to the edge here. And I might need to get a little bit more.
Let me get you some.
But I want to especially make sure that I'm getting right the edge of, I need a little bit more than that, I think. Thank you. I want to get that edge of the leather. But you don't want to go too crazy with it because you don't want this E6000 squirting out on the top of the tassel, right?
So you're doing, let's see.
Hang on.
In.
Okay, so I'm going to pull this down a little bit. And then I just want to make sure that I get that edge. And I'm going to get just a little bit more there. I want to use every bit of the E6000 that I pulled out. Okay, so now we're going to roll it from, and you want to make sure, you guys, when you're using this E6000, that you're using this in a well-ventilated area, which we are not at the moment. So this broadcast may get a little crazy for a minute. But see how as I'm rolling it, you guys, what you want to notice is you want to make sure that on this edge right here, that this edge is all lined up. Okay, so I'm going to keep rolling. Keep rolling. And then the little leash that's holding this pie in place is in there, right? It's not going to go. Oh, and you know what I forgot? That's okay. We're going to embellish it. Oh, thanks, Ma. I've got my awl here. You know, with me talking about how, oh, I want to add, you need to add everything. Look what I didn't add.
You didn't add your bead?
I didn't, but this gives me a design opportunity.
Okay.
Which is all that much better. So here you can see what I did was it's this metal, what we call our metal pony bead, which is delicious. It's this one right here. And you can see it was such a big hole in it. Where's my ultrasuede? No.
Your ultrasuede. Whoops.
Can you grab it? I think it's.
Yeah, it's right here.
That strip? Where's that strip?
Oh, it's right here.
Oh, it's right on the table. I couldn't see it.
It's the same color as the table.
So see how when I folded it over, it would go in, this would go in one way. Like this, it would go through the hole in my pie, and then this would come back down. And see, the way I do that is I just kind of fold it a little bit and push this back up. Okay, and then you'd even it out. But we've got some space there. Okay, so this is always, and you know, I've already done it once, so I'm gonna give myself a new design direction with this one. And plus, I think you guys will enjoy seeing this anyway. It's a good place to do it. So let me do it. And somebody, Mom, make sure you're watching the time, because we could be demoing here all day, and then all of a sudden I realized that I would cheat my dear Jill McKay, who's on after me. I don't want to cheat her of her time, so I'll try and stay on task here. So All right, so there we are. So, okay, so what I'm going to do here, you guys, is instead of having that bead, we're going to add just a little bit of a different design element. Okay, so I'm going to get a little tighter here. Now this is my board. This is my
Do you want
this is
some,
my
shadows?
no. I've got everything right here.
Sure you don't want shadows?
I've got them right here. So I'm gonna grab
Oh, you have shadows.
this little leash, and this is how we kind of get everything down, lash it down to the board so it doesn't move. So just bear with me here while I do that. This little piece of kitchen twine, and I'm gonna go ahead and use our clampers. Let me lift this a little bit so you can see it, okay? And I'm gonna use that clamp to clamp it right here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take one of these little tassel legs and also clamp it. And I'm going to lift the camera a little bit so you guys can see this setup. See what that looks like? So what I'm going to do right here, and this is the deep dish design tray that I'm working on. And I thought that this would be a good background. We used to carry these burlap inserts. Unfortunately, we don't carry them anymore. We're always looking for them though. So someday they may make a reappearance. But see how I've got some tension on this? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to do this macrame section right here. All right. That has, a little bit of a beaded section here, and I think it'll actually look pretty nice. What I'm going to use, and we're going to use this a little bit later for the second part of this demo, I'm going to use, I think I'm not going to use Chinese knotting cord. This is Chinese knotting cord here, the 0.5, which I love. But I think and it also is a little bit of a contrast. This is the C-Lon that I made the tassel legs out of previously, this one right here. And this tassel is, this is regular C-Lon. So I'm going to use this, okay? So I'm going to show you how it all goes together. Okay, so I'm going to take I don't know, about 20 inches or so of the regular C-Lon. And I have, this is kind of a brass cornered, kind of a soft cornered cube that we call the shadow bead. And those of you who who've watched me, know that this bracelet here is one of my favorites, this wrap bracelet that I've made. And this brass unplated shadow bead is my favorite bead. I love it. So I'm going to come in, let me get a little bit tighter so you guys can see what I'm doing here. And we're just going to start doing that flat macrame here. Okay. And Lois is asking, is C-Lon just like S-Lon? Yes, it's very similar. It's both a nylon thread, really easy to string with. We do a lot of stringing with it and stuff. So if you do have S-Lon, by all means, you can use it, of course. It's the regular size, so it's not too heavy and not too light. Okay, so let me walk you through this stitch. Not difficult, right? Here's my left hand over here, my right hand over here. I have found the center of my cord. It's gone under my my piece of ultrasuede here, and I come in with my cord. I create a loop that looks like a little letter P, right? It's facing to the left. All right. Now here with my right hand cord, I go under the left hand cord that's come over this ultrasuede. I go under the tassel completely and up through that loop. Okay. And I don't want to pull it too tight. I want it to be nice and snug, but I don't want it to kind of smush, which is a kind of a technical term, right? I want to tighten it up. Okay. Now I'm going to go and I'm going to tie another one on the right hand side. Okay. So I'm going to come here to the right, make that loop. This time it looks like a P, right? I'm going to go over that thread that's coming out from the P, under the whole tassel and up through the loop. So Q on the left, P on the right. Whoops, let me do this again. One full fluid motion. If you go right to beadshop.com, you guys, we have a great skill builder. We have a skill builder on a lot of things, but we have a great skill builder on how to do the macrame knot. If this macrame knot is giving you sass, you give it sass right back and you tell it that you're the boss. There we go. The first few knots of anything, you guys, can be kind of a pain, but let's do the Q side, do the loop, go underneath and grab and tighten. I'm going to do 2 full macrame knots here, and you can see it's getting a little more under control like this. I'm going to come over, go underneath right here, and then tighten it up. So I've got 2 pairs now. Okay. You know, a good question. Someone asked about beeswax here. You know, I don't wax my C-Lon usually. If I'm doing laddering, I would probably. Okay. So, but here with this macrame, I don't want the wax to do any damage to this ultrasuede at all. So you just have to tell it who's the boss right now. Okay. And also, if now I'm going to put on these shadow beads, we're going to put some little beads right down here along the shank. I'm also going to push this up just a little bit so it's a little bit tighter. There we go. So if you don't know, like if you go away, like if you went and you answered the phone or you got yourself something to drink or whatever, you're like, oh, wait, I don't know where I am on this, right? You come back. Right here, can you see this little crescent, this little blip, little bubble right here?
I think you need go to the can the camera go down?
Yeah, I'm down. I'm behind you on the screen.
Oh, okay.
So you can see here,
I see.
I have this little crescent right here on this side, right? And so I am going to, so I know that this is the side I'm going to start with. Okay. So I'm going to come in, make that P, and you can see that bead. It's just going to sit over there too. It's going to come right up. I'm going to go under the tassel and through that loop. And then you can see how both of those beads, the width of that bead also kind of gives me a little bit of an opening there. So, but it shows the ultrasuede. If you use a little bit of a smaller bead, like you could use a size 8 seed bead, we also have these shadow beads in the little shadows, right? So you could do something a little bit smaller. Whoops, sorry about that. But I wanted to get something a little bit bigger so you guys could see it. Okay, so let me tighten that up, tighten this below it, and I'm going to put one more section of the shadows on there. Okay, so again, we've got this here, and then I've got this here. Okay, and we do have different sizes of C-Lon. We also have the fine and the micro. The fine C-Lon would work for this as well if you didn't want this to be so thread forward. You could also use a Chinese knotting cord, which looks nice. Make sure that bead is in the right place before I tighten it too much. I don't think it is, which is why it's given me some sass. So I'm just going to take my awl, slide that bead into place. There we go. And tighten it up. Done. And let me tie one more underneath here. Okay. But again, you could use any little bead. We carry a bunch of cool things, little beads from Tiara Cast that would look great on here from our friends at Tiara Cast. Whatever you like, or no beads at all, right? Now I'm going to make this all symmetrical. So see what I've got? I'm going to put it there for a sec. right? Everyone's saying, everyone who watches me knows that these shadow beads are my very most favorite bead ever. I think, because half of my life I spend also working with metal, and I love brass as a metal to work with, right? So I don't know, it just ticks all the right boxes off for me here. So I'm going to tighten that up right there. Now, how to close this off. I'm going to flip this around because I want you to see it from a different direction. Okay. So let me turn this around, turn it round so you guys can see right here what I've got. Okay. I know I like the way that this C-Lon looks a lot, and we're going to do a little more embellishing here. So never fear. Okay. So what I'm going to do right here and right here on my C-Lon is I'm going to get my GS Hypo Cement, and GS is a great glue to use, right? Looks like this, comes with a little tip. This one has been well loved, so the tip probably looks like what yours looks like on your beading area, right? But I get that little micro tip and I get right in there. I want to be careful not to stain the suede, right? All I'm doing is I'm adding a little bit of GS right to that C-Lon. And I'm going to very quickly put the lid back on. Someone's also asking, I can see in the chat, about the product list, and I'll put it back on at the end of the broadcast as well. But you can find everything right over on beadshop.com at the project. It's called Boho Tassel, and I'm going to show you guys. I'll show you guys that one more time before I leave. So don't worry. I promise I won't leave you hanging. Okay. I'm going to also get my little Q-tip that I had earlier, and I'm going to tamp that down a little bit. The GS, you don't want it to stain anything, so you want to be really careful, but I'm going to let that dry for the moment. Okay. And Janice is also linking. Janice and Gita are also linking in the chats as well. So thank you guys so much for doing that. I really, really appreciate it. It takes a team, right? We're a team. The Great Bead Extravaganza is a team. Bead Shop is a team. All of you guys out watching as designers and beaders are a team, right? So it's all good. So to embellish this, I'll show you guys what I did here with this. And here's the finished one. You can see I'm going to cut away these tails just a little bit so they don't get in the way so much. So let me get rid of these, and then I'll show you how I really finish them off in a bit. Okay, so here's with this one.
I love those beads around the head of that.
Yeah, I do too. I love them. This is a size 6 seed bead right here, a size 6. I also have some of the Tiara Cast Hishi in here as well. And essentially, all I did was I grabbed a piece of C-Lon right here. And what I'll do is I'm going to quickly transfer. This is, I think, a good tip. I'm going to transfer my.
We still got a half an hour.
Yeah, we've got some time. I transfer my shadow beads on there. And see how I take them off and put them on. I could also make a self needle with this C-Lon. I'm making a self needle by putting a little bit of zap glue on there. I do that a lot. You guys that watch me on the Bead Shop feed on Wednesdays and Fridays have seen me do that. But this you could also use a big eye needle or a collapsible eye needle to run this through. Sometimes these shadows, though, have a little bit of fuzz left over from the thread. So it makes it a little difficult. So I'm going to angle cut this a little bit because it's a little fuzzy. There we go. These beads are not going to be the boss of me. You know that. And we'll put them right on. I said we'll put them right on. There we go. Then once your beads are on, all I do is I'm going to wrap them around the head of the tassel. But you can do this. When I did this the first time, when I made this tassel a while back, I thought, I'm just going to wrap them. They'll be fine. They're going to stay. And then they didn't really. So I learned that gluing a little bit of glue on the outer coat of this tassel will make a really big difference. So I'm just gonna, these are gonna be the last ones. I'll measure this to tell you how many beads I've put on. When you're not doing this on your own in the middle of a demo when hundreds of people are watching you, you can decide exactly how many you want to use. But for now, I'm just going to go with this. Okay. So I've got here, I'm going to take it out of frame for a second and measure it. I've got about 4 inches worth of beads. Let me get just a few more. And notice how I haven't cut my thread off of the spool quite yet. I'm just going to put, I need about 3 more beads to make about 4 inches here.
So, I was looking, I saw a diagram of a tassel, and that's called the head. And then if you're winding something around there, other tassels, that's called the neck. And then this, were you calling the legs? That's the skirt.
Oh, it's called the skirt. I like that story.
The skirt, yes.
So I'm going to put a little piece of paper down so it's nice and protected. My surface is protected. Now I'm going to use, normally, again, if this wasn't demo time, if this wasn't like demo time under pressure here, right? I would let that glue that I just put on there sit 24 hours, right? But what I have here is I've got my thread burner, and you can just clip it away, but a thread burner, you can just come in, and that thread burner actually cauterizes that thread, and you just need to be patient. It'll heat through the thread. At least I think it will. There it goes, right? And I'm going to do this second one right here and cauterize that down. And so that's going to help to seal my C-Lon so it won't unravel, right? And it'll also give me, I'm going to stick this through the center. It'll give me a nice clean end. And you can't force the thread burner. Though my thread burner, I should have checked. There we go. Probably needs a new battery, but it's good to go. I love the thread burners. I love it, love it, love them, love them. Okay, so you can see that's nice and clean there. So let's wrap that. What is that part called, Ma?
That's the head.
That's the head. All right, that is the tassel head.
Yeah.
Where's the E6000?
It's right there.
There. So I'm gonna get some more E6000. And this, I don't know, I may be playing with fire here, you guys, but let's see. I'm cutting away. Let me clear my decks here a little bit so I know what I'm doing-ish. Now I've got my beads here, right? And I'm going to wrap everything around. What I do want to do is, I think what I want to do is I'm going to have each of these shadows be like a little stopper. So I'm going to have a stopper here so that my shadows don't come apart, right? And I'm going to do the same thing over here, right? Like this. Like this. And someone's asking, the thread burner only good with the C-Lon? I use the thread burner on all my threads. I use it on CKC, Chinese knotting cord. I use it on KO and Hana and stuff like that. It all works beautifully on different threads. So I love it to cauterize and close off those threads. So see how I've kind of looped in those shadows there. So now if I wave this around, those beads aren't going anywhere. The hole is really big. So if I tied a knot, I'd be tying a knot and tying a knot and tying a knot and tying a knot, and it'd be big and unsightly and not pretty. So, but this, I'll just glue this down and the thread will be underneath. So let's see if this is all going to end in tears or if this is the best idea I've ever had. You know, I mean, why not?
Probably somewhere in between.
So you never know. You never know. So here we go. So again, and the E6000 is perfect for this, right? Because it's kind of viscous, right? It's not going to run everywhere. I wouldn't use super glue or anything that's really going to soak in to the ultra suede. So you just want to be really careful. And I'm going to start, I think I'm going to start here at the bottom. And I'm just going to add a little bit of that glue. And I'm just going to place my shadows on there. And then I'm going to wrap. And let's take a look. And I'm going to roll it and wrap it. Come on, there we go. And then I can really see how much more I'm going to need. So I'm just going to glue. I'm not going to cover the whole shebang with it, right? But I'm just going to add a little bit of glue there and a little bit here. I want everyone to breathe. It's okay. I know everyone's like, Kate, you're putting glue and it's going to just everybody calm down, everybody. Everybody relax. There we go. So see, it's in its place. Now, what I did on the other one, can you see how I just crossed it in front? I'm going to do the same thing, right? Why not? And can you see here how I wasn't, well, this will just have to cover, but see, I was not how I told you to make sure that everything was even. Well, we'll just call this, that'll just cover right up. But really double check, right, when you're rolling this ultra suede, that everything is even. I could cover it up with another piece of ultra suede, right, that I have cut before I did this, right, to kind of hide that seam. But it's, you know, these aren't tassels that are going in Versailles. These are tassels that are just going to adorn your whatever it is you want to adorn it, right? So I'm going to do just a few here, and let me measure. That looks like I need 2 more, and then I'll do the other side. Okay, 1 and 2. And down. And again, this disc that I'm using, it's not on the materials list for the materials that are listed for this project. This is the pyrite disc. We have a whole bunch of 30 millimeter discs that you can choose your favorite stone color from. But they're really pretty. I love pyrite, again, because I think I like metal so much. We're almost done with this guy, and I've got the other tassel set up for you. And I'm going to show you how we're going to make the other tassel out of C-Lon. So bear with me here just a moment while these go on. Yep. So here's this, and you can see they kind of come together right here. So I'm going to tie a nice tight overhand knot, and before I tie the second half of it, I'm going to add a little bit of that GS Hypo right there, so that when I finish tying my knot, it's going to capture that glue and make a nice tight knot right there. I'm not going to cut it away yet. Again, this would have to sit, I like it to sit 24 hours before I do that. But look, you guys, at
That's nice.
how nice that is. Okay, so let's fly right into the next project. I'm going to move this over and let's bring this other piece. So everybody take a deep breath. Good job. Good job, everybody. So here's our second tassel. Okay, and this is made with the C-Lon. And so the C-Lon, what I did was I cut a piece of cardboard right here, and I've got my other cardboard template here somewhere to show you what it was. Maybe. Well, I had it all marked out for you to see. Oh, here, it's right here. I cut a piece of cardboard 4.5 inches in length. Okay. And for the tassel body itself, you want to make about 40 to 50 turns around, right? You go around the whole cardboard 40 to 50 times, okay? And that gives you, if you've done 50 turns, right, all the way around, you've got 25 tassel legs on this side and 25 tassel legs on this side, or skirt, for the skirt, right?
Skirt.
Right? So here, notice also, I've cut little, a little kind of little opening here, little notch in the bottom, yeah, of this cardboard. So it's holding my extra C-Lon. So now, after I've made the turns, turn, 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 right? Turn, turn, turn. I'm going to come in with a piece of Chinese knotting cord. Now, this Chinese knotting cord that I'm using is a 0.5 millimeter. Now, at Bead Shop, we carry a variety of CKC. We like to call it CKC for short. That CKC comes in a variety of sizes. This is the 0.5 millimeter, which is the middle of the road. And it goes down to a 0.4 and up to a 0.8. So this is, again, a nice middle of the road tassel cord to be using. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to kind of wrangle this tassel before I cut anything off of here, right? I'm going to come in, I'm going to go up through, I'm sorry if you hear vacuuming. Hopefully it won't last real long, but they're vacuuming outside. Hopefully they'll be done soon, so sorry about that. See how I've just kind of lashed it underneath here to kind of pull it all together? And then, and you can definitely use C-Lon, you guys, to do this as well, okay? So I'm going to take this off. I'm not cutting the tassel apart yet. I'm going to come in and I'm going to take all of these threads, and I've doubled this CKC over, okay, like this. You don't have to double it. You could just use a single strand, but I wanted you guys to be able to see it. I'm doing that overhand knot and I'm tightening everything down. I've got a little bit of a blip of Chinese knotting cord there, so I'm going to tighten everything up. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my shears and I'm going to come in and under tension so that everything is even. I'm going to then clip the skirt of this tassel open. Now, it might look a bit like the dog's breakfast right here, right? But you just have to have faith that everything is going to work out. So I'm not going to screw around with anything else right now, okay? What I need to do is I need to get all of this corralled underneath a silk wrap for the neck, to make the neck of the tassel. Okay.
That's right. And that part, the what you just done, that's the cord of the tassel.
The cord. All of this?
No, this part.
Oh, the
This
cord.
is the cord.
The cord.
Yes. So there's the cord, the head, the neck, and the skirt.
The skirt. So I'm gonna fix the skirt up a little bit. Now, a silk wrap is also kind of a signature beadshop.com move. We have a skill builder on it. Janice has done the video on it. But what I've done here is I've cut, I don't know, this is a lot of thread. It's about 25 inches or so, right? I'm going to take about 2/3 to about 1/3 of the cord here. And I'm going to lay that cord down on the neck of the tassel. Now I'm going to take this long end and I'm going to begin to wrap, and I'm going to move my thumb so you can see what's underneath here. But I'm going to make nice little wraps, one below the other, towards this loop. Okay. Wrap. And I don't know, wrap as long as you feel like wrapping, right? But even wraps, one below the other. All right. So I have maybe about an inch or so left. I'm going to push that through the big loop of the CKC, trying not to grab any of the C-Lon or anything else in there, right? Now I'm going to grab this side and see how that loop is grabbing the leg of that Chinese knotting cord and pulling it under what I just wrapped. Okay. And I'm going to pull on both ends. Now I could, if I wanted to, add a spot of glue before this went up, but I don't need to. Okay. All I need to do is just tighten it up underneath there. And again, you can find that skill builder on beadshop.com. A good question. Someone asked about, should I make these rotations tight? You want to make, let me put it here so you can kind of see this. You want to make the rotations firm and even, but not so tight that you're strangling the neck of this tassel, right? So even, firm, but not so tight that the tassel can't breathe. Okay. And I'm going to come in with my clippers and I'm going to clip that end, being very careful not to clip anything else or anything else there. Now, the bottom part of this tassel still looks like the dog's breakfast. Okay. So what we're going to do is I have a little mini, I don't know if you guys can see this, a little mini, straightening iron, hair straightening iron, right? I just got it at a flat iron. I got it at the drugstore. And it's great for ironing these tassel legs flat. Now, not all of the skirt was clipped, so I'm going to do that. So next, I'll iron it flat. Right? And look at how that iron, especially this little one, makes everything nice and neat and even, just like with your hair, right? We're flat ironing this tassel. So now, once it's flat ironed, you guys, I'm going to get my scissors and no. What you can also do, I want to show you. If I take this back out to my board, you can cut it with scissors, or this is a good trick. You can flatten everything out with your ruler. And I can come in and use my rotary cutter, right? So that's another good way to get a nice straight across so it doesn't look like you cut your bangs in the bathroom mirror kind of a look. Ask me how I know that, okay? When I used to have bangs. So next, or you can just clip it with scissors, right? So now the world's your oyster, okay? You can attach, like I did here, with, and I'm just going to show you how this goes together real quick because we've got Jill McKay coming up shortly and I don't want to infringe on any of her time. But I just did that same flat macrame knot here like I did on our tassel, our previous tassel, right? And you just use that. You would come up, you'd put whatever beads you want on this one. I have a little, I have one of the shadow beads there. So let me see. I'm going to clip these threads. I'm going to see if I can get this shadow, all 4 strands of this. I think I can get through there. There's 3 and 4. There we go. And then I have these donuts. And the donuts are really pretty. This one you can see I put the donuts on either side, or you can stack them up. Maybe I'll stack these so they look a little bit different. And then I'll put this wood carving bead. They're old. They're old serpentine beads. So the hole sizes will vary. The size of the bead that you get will vary. Let me see if I can get this all in here.
You still have those?
Yeah. They're on your materials list.
That's a beautiful bead.
Yeah, it's a beautiful bead. Let me see. I did 4 strands of this Chinese knotting cord, but you may just want to do 2. And if it's giving you issues like it's giving me, I'll show you what to do here. So what I could do is I can remove 2 of these cords. There's one. There's the other one. I'd add a drop of glue right on there. And I'd clip those away. There we go. This is going to make everyone's lives a lot better. So now let's just put these in. I think I want it facing that away. Go through once. Pull that thread down. See how I'm holding it in my fingers? So it opens up the channel of that bead hole. And then that cord will sail right through. So now, look at how pretty that looks. I'm going to end with one little shadow bead, or regular shadow is what I meant to say. And where is, look at that. That I think is gorge.
Yeah.
So I can just come in. Yeah, I've got some time. So bear with me here just a second. And I could also thread burn it. Melanie asked, instead of clipping that away, could I thread burn it? You bet. I sure could. Right. So let me get this. I'm going to lash that down. Lash this one down. And I'm going to, but before I do that, let me bring this through. It would be just like with my, let me hold this one here. Where's the other tassel? Here we go. With these that are here, right? You would macrame, 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 come back around and then grab both of the loop, the front of the loop and the back of the loop, and macrame over the top of it, right? Through the hook, through this pie. And then you would wire wrap at the top to connect it to this hook. But what I'm going to do instead here is I'm going to just macrame this down So it has kind of a nice look to it here. That's about right there. Lash that macrame down right onto the board. I'm going to do this side too, so everything's tight. I'm going to get this piece of CKC, and I'm just going to come in, and I'm going to go at Kate speed now. You've seen me do this slowly, but I'm going to speed it up just a little bit here so we've got enough time. And maybe this will take like 2 knots, maybe it'll take 1 more pair. 1.
Wow.
And 2. Okay. Like so. Now, glue.
Yeah, and if you hand me that when you're done with it, I'll put the lid back.
Okay. Just a little, and actually adding a little bit of glue before you tie that last knot would be the best way to do it, but this also works just fine. Again, let it go.
Time warp.
Right? It'll go 24 hours, right? 24 hours. Then, but I'm going to clip it off now. Okay. So let me show you these. I want to put all of these nicely here in your bird's eye view so you can see everything that we've done today. Now, you guys, I want to thank you so much for watching me here, right? Let me get this up a little bit higher so you can see all of these. You've got so many ideas here, and I'll post all of these as a photo in the Great Bead Extravaganza so you can see it, right? But you can see a variety of ways to close all of these off and everything, right? It all works out really well, I think. I just put on the thing. Great time today. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to put, now there's a couple of fun things I've got for you guys, so bear with me here. You can find all of the projects over on our beadshop.com website, right? If you use coupon code GBE20, you will get 20% off of your whole entire order. And you guys, I remember how I mentioned that free gift, right? We have free old school thread snips for you. And you saw me use them in the broadcast. So today only, you guys, today is Saturday, November 7th. It's a free gift with purchase. So if you go to Bead Shop and you make an order of $35 or more before shipping, and you enter snips, please, in your order notes, we'll toss in a free snips for you guys. Okay, so those free snips will be in your package when you get it. Now, just as a reminder, you guys, that is good only today. It expires tonight, November 7th at midnight Pacific time. Do remember also you can follow us on all of our social, and you can find us at beadshop.com. You can watch me every Wednesday and every Friday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific time. Okay, so bear with me here just a moment while I change the camera over here so we can say goodbye to you guys. So here we come with the front camera. Bear with me here. All of this technology is crazy. Let me see here, and let me get this. And here I am. There we are. So, everybody, let me get this thing out of the way. Right here. Lift that up, Linda.
Okay.
There you go. Lift it right up.
All right.
Perfect.
There we
Okay,
go.
a little rocky at the end. There we are.
are.
But here we
Here
are.
we are.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We had a great time. We're going to go back to our socially distanced vacation. We're having a lot of fun together, and we had a lot of fun with you guys today. So I hope to see you again on our beadshop.com broadcasts. Stay tuned for the rest of the lineup today. You've got the wonderful and amazing Jill McKay coming up. We've got Christy Friesen and we've got Kelly Sutton today. And don't forget, tomorrow you've got a whole other host of wonderful presenters for the Great Bead Extravaganza. Go to the top of the page on the Great Bead Extravaganza group and you can enter our really amazing giveaway. Beadshop.com donated a whole slew of really fun stuff, including a beautiful package arrangement of C-Lon and of Chinese knotting cord. So that's in the prize package as well. Thank you guys ever so much. Bead well, bead safe. You know what to do. Keep wearing those masks, keep social distancing, and it was great to have all of you guys here. We really
Bye.
appreciate it. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so
Bye-bye.
much. Let me see if I can turn off this broadcast. Maybe.
Okay. All right. Well, no.